Hi Heena.
Hey.
We're here in London. What's it like being vegan in London?
I would say quite easy. Pretty much at home you can control everything, of course. Going out, pretty much every single restaurant I've been to, I think apart from one, had stuff that was on the menu that was vegan already but it wasn't marked vegan, or they had things that they could amend and just, you know, adapt here and there and make it vegan. And another nicer point than that is when they haven't had anything, the chefs have taken it as a nice little challenge to get creative and make something especially for you, so you actually end up getting a bit of special treatment, which is really cool. So yeah, I think quite easy.
We've heard that a lot of people go vegan but then go back to eating meat. Why do you think that is?
I think some people don't take the step to go vegan as a permanent thing, they're just trying it out. So they may go under the statistic of went vegan and went back, but they never intended it to be a lifestyle decision or life choice. I think other people, maybe the friends did it or family did it or someone did it and they thought they'd try it out, and then they decided it wasn't for them. And I think there's some other people who go vegan but aren't really firm about why they've made that decision. And I think one of the keys to staying vegan is knowing what your motivations are and being firm about them, because if you are, then basically that will take you through. So I think for those people, they haven't had firm motivations, or I think it's been too hard for them because they've been they've stood out amongst everyone they know. So for example, when I went vegan, none of my friends were vegan, none of my family was vegan. I was very determined, my motivations were strong, so I got through it. But I think for those who don't have that, it can be, you can feel isolated and it's easier to go back rather than stick it out. And maybe one other reason is not knowing the facts. So people scare you with loads of questions like, oh, well, where will you get your protein, or where will you get your calcium, and what about your iron and your B12 and your vitamin D? And if you actually don't know how to research that or know what bits are true and what bits aren't, it can easily scare you and make you go back to eating things that actually aren't good for you, when the vegan diet, if done properly, you'll be in better health than you were before.
So do you think people would maybe be more consistent with their veganism if they had better support?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I know people who have gone vegan and gone back and then said, I wouldn't have been on and off and I would have made the shift straight away and stuck with it if I had support, if I had people I could go to that I could talk it through with, that I could ask questions to, that I could just be silly with and not worry about what I'm asking or what I'm thinking. If I got recipes here and there, if I had this, that, the other, I know that there's a lot of people who have said that here.
So you described a vegan coach, I'm guessing?
I am.
And you are a vegan coach?
Yes.
So tell me a bit more about that.
Cool, so basically I went vegan in early 2008 and none of my friends were vegan, none of my family was vegan. I actually hadn't heard of the word before. It happened very off by chance basically. We went to an event, a Jain event, which is a religion, and it was Mahavir Janma Kalyanak, which means Mahavir Bhagavan is one of the Tirthankars, so he attained enlightenment, and basically it was a celebration to do with his birth. And the president or chairperson, I'm not quite sure of her title, from PETA in India was there, and she introduced this video and said, she didn't really say much about it, she said, oh, I'm going to show you a video to do with dairy production, and I just, okay, and then she showed the video and I basically cried throughout pretty much the whole video. And then after it finished, luckily for me, I hadn't processed it yet, but Suraj, my husband, sort of leant over to me and said, should we sort of go vegan from tomorrow, or should we stop dairy from tomorrow, something like that. And I was just like, yeah, because I hadn't processed it yet, but basically I'm a very visual person, so those images have stayed with me and will not go. So there's no way I would go back after seeing that film. But the fact that we both did it together was really good. So that's how I became vegan. I stuck with it because my motivations were clear, I'm visual, I got the memories, all that kind of thing. What was hard for me is that no one around me knew what veganism was or was vegan. And when I suddenly became vegan, people who were close to me were questioning it, were doubting it, thought it was just a phase, were hitting me with all these questions to do with vitamins and this, that and the other. And even though I got very frustrated with it and felt quite isolated, I stuck with it. But if I'd had support then, I think I would have found it much easier. And I think the shift that I've made now, emotionally, in a way that I can handle all that kind of stuff now, it's like water off a duck's back. It would have been easier if I had support before. Which is why I became a vegan coach. Because basically I want other people to make that shift. I want them to go vegan, I want them to stay vegan. Rather than go vegan and think, oh no, this is too hard, I can't do it, I'm going to get ill, because that's all nonsense if you do it properly. So yeah.
What do you offer as a vegan coach?
So basically it's 45 minutes per session, and so far they've been online because the people I've coached have been in America or India or London but far away, and transport was an issue or whatever. So yeah, so we talk through why they're vegan or why they want to be vegan, because basically my clients are people who are vegan already and want help to stay vegan, people who want to become vegan, or new vegans. So we talk about where they're at, where they want to be, what the obstacles are, and then I help them and support them, make sure they achieve what they want to achieve. In between there's unlimited email support, recipes, all sorts of things, and I give myself homework throughout the sessions. And so rather than waste time talking about things in the session where I know that I can send them things after, I'll hear what we need to sort out, and then I'll say, if it's okay with you, I'll send you this information later so we can move on to something else, and that works quite well.
A lot of people go, just do it, just go vegan.
Yeah.
Do you think that helps?
I think the sentiment for that is just make a decision. So in that way, I see where they're coming from, but I don't think it's helpful for a lot of people. For some people who are very determined and clear on motivations, which I keep going on about, I think it's fine. For them it will work. But for many other people who life is just so busy, they haven't had time to think it through, they haven't had time to do the research, they don't know, they don't have a supportive network around them. For them, if you just say just go vegan, it's not going to help them. They need more than that, and they need kind of like a buddy to help them make that shift.
So you mentioned Jainism.
Oh yes.
So is there a link between Jainism and veganism?
It's a tricky one. So basically I'm Jain. One of the big points that people talk about in Jainism is ahimsa. So ahimsa means violence and ahimsa means non-violence. The majority of Jains, or what Jainism is known for, talk about not eating root vegetables. There's many reasons for that. One is that when you're eating the roots, so you pull out the whole thing, so you've killed the plant completely. Two, when you're pulling it out, you're disturbing the earth, the eggs, the insects, all that kind of thing, so there's a lot of harm there. But there's certain root vegetables, i.e. onions, potato, garlic, that are known to have infinite, like microscopic life beings inside. So there's more harm, it's said, in eating those root vegetables than say others. So for those that say, oh, you know, I'm Jain but I can't handle not eating any root vegetables at all, they try and cut those out. There are other people who don't cut any out, and you know, as it is with any faith, people follow things in different ways. But there are a group of Jains who have said, well actually, if you interpret ahimsa in a certain way, it means no violence to any living being. And dairy is full of violence because of what you already know, which is that the cows are kept pregnant, their lifespan is then shorter, the calf is taken away very quickly or straight away, the milk which is for the calf doesn't get it, it's then stolen from them, which is another thing that you're not meant to do in Jainism. It's called a steya, which means not stealing. And then if it's a male, more often than not it's slaughtered, and then the female is kept in slavery to have the same fate as her mum. So if that's not violent, then what is? So there are many Jains out there who will say, no, if you're a proper Jain and true to the core, you wouldn't eat root veg, you wouldn't eat dairy, you wouldn't eat loads of things where it's full of violence.
Do you have any tips for people that want to go vegan?
Yeah, I'd say my biggest foremost tip is know why you want to do it. Once you know why you want to do it, then think about how quickly you want to achieve it. Are you I want it done yesterday person, I want it done tomorrow, or no, I need it to be slow and steady. And then based on that, get some strategies in place to help you achieve your aim. Another tip I'd say is maybe do a bit of research to preempt things that might be said to you, so you're ready with an answer. So one, it helps you save face, so you don't feel foolish when they ask you and you don't know. Two, it doesn't cause you anxiety because you're suddenly hit with something and you're actually not sure if the vegan diet will be a hindrance or not, which it won't be. But if you didn't know that in the first place, it will cause you to have lots of doubt. So to save yourself from that, do a bit of research and just be light and creative and enjoy it.
Yeah,
that's what I'd say.
That's great. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.